So we're going to take the shapes that you did last week and we're going to do this basic shape grouping is what it's called. That's going to be for you to try. And you're going to use the shapes that you worked with last week. One was the sphere, the cone, the cube, and the cylinder. And you're going to create a grouping with overlapping, indicating using 5 3D shapes. So I wasn't sure if you knew what a grouping was, but a grouping is like if you had one shape in front of another shape and you can't see through it. They're not transparent. So there they are right there. That's like kind of a grouping. I don't want yours in marker, but I wanted to show you what one was. So remember, we're going to use 5 shapes and you only have 4. So we're going to repeat one of them and make a grouping. And there's a couple rules that I want you to follow. So you're going to do 5 shapes and I'll put this up. Repeat one of them. There's got to be evidence of overlapping. Overlapping is when you put one thing in front of another. And shading on the objects based on the light source. And then I want you to be neat and I want you to take up a big part of the paper. So this is not huge, but that would suffice. I would take that. So I started this one before my camera fell for the 3rd time. And I just drew this. You can arrange them any way you want to. You probably can't see it really well, which is why I did the one in the marker, but I want to make sure you know to do yours in pencil. I picked my light source over here. I drew all the shapes and I repeated the cone. So there's like a cone here, here, a cylinder, a cube, and a little sphere up there, but you can arrange it any way you want to. You're going to shade away from the light source. So I'm just going to shade this one. You don't have to do cast shadows unless you're feeling brave and you want to try. I'm only looking to see that you remember how to shade. Your pencils are going to shade better than mine. Mine's a plain number 2 wood pencil, which is fine. But I tried to give you a darker pencil. We're going to go over that in just a second. If you have anything higher than a 2, like a 3, 4, 5, or 6, 8 might be, 6 and 8 might be a little hard. But it will be darker away from the light source. So this is what you're going to do. It takes a little while. It's not something that's done really quickly. I'm going to show you one that I worked on just a second ago. There goes my camera again. So I'll be doing this with one hand. So here's an example of some of the objects that I've already started doing. The light source, I didn't put it on here. You've got to have your light source is right here. And I've got my objects here that I've started shading according to that. Notice how it got really dark right in here because I'm pretty sure everything is keeping the light from there. Even though this side of the box is on the side with the light source, these objects are blocking it. So this would be shaded also. So think really hard. You can also use your eraser as a drawing tool here because you can lift out the highlight. So it's like shading and the new word is highlighting. So you're leaving some highlights there and you can lift out highlights with your eraser. Haven't done these 2 objects yet, but this is what it's supposed to look like. Any questions about that part so far? About that size. So I want to talk about these numbered pencils really quick. I know this is kind of boring for y'all, sorry. Maybe when it falls again, it won't be boring. Y'all think that's funny, but anyway. So the drawing pencils are numbered. 6H, sometimes they can be harder than that. HB, if you'll look right here, an HB is kind of like a number 2 wood pencil. It's real important to know that. If you were going into drafting, architecture, some kind of drawing where you wouldn't want it to smudge or smear and you wanted a clean, crisp line, a lot of your mechanical pencils do that, you would probably work with an H. If you took drafting and shop under Mr. Jeter, you probably used a 4H pencil. My dad taught drafting in house, and I drew my house plans and I used a 4H. That was a standard pencil to use in that classroom here at Central when they taught that class, drafting class. So it's hard. It's a hard lead that's inside, and it's usually used for drafting. Something you don't want to shade. You wouldn't want your house plans to be shaded. So think about that, and then go this way on the B's. Don't know why it's not an S. I need to find that out one day. But the lead becomes softer, and then eventually, if it kept going, would turn in. By 8, it's turning into charcoal. It's like becoming like a piece of charcoal. So 2B, 3B, 4B, 6B, they're all going to have a darker lead than this number 2 pencil that I have here. And the shading kind of resembles when the higher the number gets. So I tried to send you 2, 3, 4, 6s. I tried not to send anybody an 8 8's going to be too dark for this one. So draw it with a light pencil, a regular pencil. And then when you start shading, I just had to use, this is what it looks like when you use a number 2 wood pencil. So it's fine to do this if you can't find the bag I gave you and find the pencil I gave you. But if you have a drawing pencil that's numbered, that's a B pencil, which means that it's darker, use that after you've drawn it and after you've shaded it. Any questions about that? You need to just email me or let me know. When you first draw it, you can draw it and they can, like, the lines of the other ones can show in. Look, they show in through. And then when you get ready to shade it, then you would erase all this. Like I drew everything like they were laid on top of each other and transparent. But then I erased what I wanted. I decided what I wanted to be in front, and I erased the parts that were showing. So I don't want to see any lines through the objects. The ones that are in the foreground should not be, you should not be able to see the ones in the background through them. So it'll be like this. So I can't wait to see your finished product. So I'm sorry this drug on too long. I'll try to send you the ones where they were falling on me. Here are the objects again. Here's what you're doing. 5 3D shapes, evidence of overlapping, shading based on the light source. Don't forget to make it neat, and don't forget to make it take up the paper. Send me a picture. Y'all, it's much easier if you send me these things through Canvas and not through the email or through my phone. I'll take them that way if that's all you can make work, but I'd like for you to send it yourself, and enough people have done it. Art One is doing it better than anybody, but send me the work through Canvas if at all possible. Take a picture and attach it through that submission tool. Thank you very much. Bye.